Hey Zone Leavers, this is SuperZombGBBQ, and I hope you're all having an amazing day because I'm about to make it even better. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to blow your mind. If you have played Giants Unleashed, then you're probably wondering how to get up the leaderboards, how to get yourself some sweet rewards, just like myself, where I am literally 2 million points away from the heroic upgrades. That means I've gone through all the way to Samoa Joe, back down again, all the way to heroic. But there's a lot of, I'd say, unnecessary criticism online that says that this game mode is pay to win, which actually, if you play it right, you can actually get most of it for free. Yes, no credits needed, free of charge. And you're thinking to yourself, how can I get more points when I don't have credits, or I have limited credits at my disposal? Well, this is what this video is here for, and one of these is so goddamn good, you will probably lose your mind. If not, your brains will probably explode, because honestly, it's freaking awesome. Hit the like button as hard as you possibly can. It takes literally 2 seconds. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos just like this, and turn notifications on by ringing the bell, just like that. Let's get started. We're number one. I've got 7 different ways in which you can get more points and spend less credits in this game mode and potentially get yourself event cards and other cards free of charge. You don't need gears. Yeah, I've been speaking about this because I was one of the people that thought gears would be essential. Now, just to cover this point off, because some in the future might be watching this and thinking to yourself, oh my god, he's talking absolute baloney. It actually is essential, because we know that Cat Daddy, any mobile game in the past, if it's not making money, they'll probably change it so it's more essential. So, just to clarify, this might be more essential in the future. As of recording the first event, this is not essential. Let's go and play a game and I'm going to show you what I mean. Which brings us to point number 2. Use credits you have on bouts, not gears. And obviously, use up your ads, because using credits on these gears is going to get you nowhere. If we use the blue, it gives you a 25% bonus on any blue arrows you get. Up and down arrows, again 25% bonus. The amount of points you actually get from that on top of the points you get is literally negligible. You get much more benefit from actually playing than you would than using these additional gears, these points earners. The match 4 bonus is just too rare to come across. Using this is almost nonsensical unless, we'll come back to that later on. There is one way you might be able to benefit from it, and I don't understand what the ability bonus actually does, to be perfectly honest, because yes, it does do 100% bonus, but the damage doesn't actually equate much in game. It kind of gives you an extra like 2,000 or 3,000. Maybe they'll fix that when the game mode gets older and there's more evidence of what the power-ups do and don't do for the players. Unlike other game modes, these things that you can add to the game mode to make it easier for you and to get you more points, unlike LMS, which has the blocks and reveals, and obviously the doublers, we all know that. RTG has the title matches, and Ring Domination has the pick doublers. You do not need these as essentials. Let's put them in now and play a match. Literally, the whole game mode is based on luck and how you position your cards. And that is where the third point comes in. Expend any cards you don't need in favour of a chance of a 4 of a kind. So you can see here I have got 2 toughness and 2 power cards and 1 speed card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 2 toughness cards, and I'm also going to use my Shawn Michaels. Why would I do that? Well, simply because you don't get any negative points or anything taken away from your score from using cards that you don't need. The best thing you can do is push to try and get yourself either a 4 or a 3 of a kind to give you more points. You see here, we're going to use these to get ourselves some points against Kevin Owens. We've got 2,000 extra points, and those can be vital. Those can be vital over a period of time. You can see here, I've got speed matches. I've got 3 power cards now. So I'm now going to use this next one. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually use a mismatch here. And I'm not, but I'm going to expend my cards. So I'm going to hope that we get a left arrow. And it's actually an up arrow, which is actually really frustrating. But because we've got the mismatch, we do get some. And this is where sometimes the gears are useful. This time, however, I'm not going to use any power-ups. So I'm going to literally just, like I said, you don't need the gears. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to use them. So let's go for... We've got 3 speed cards there. Nice. So I'm going to get rid of Ricochet, who's a charisma card. And we've also got rid of our right arrow. Now, I'm hoping to get a speed card at some point. So again, we're going to get rid of AJ Styles for the pure fact that he could potentially stop us from getting a 4. So we're hoping for an up arrow. It's a down arrow, which sucks. And I got a 4 of a kind. But in another situation, you would have got yourself a nice little 150k point bonus. That one didn't go so well for us. Now, especially you want to expend any arrows that have already been used. For example, you've had 2 out of the 3 matches. One was a left arrow, one was for right arrows. You would get rid of any cards that were left and right arrows because it's less likely that those are going to be picked. You also might want to decide to make a decision about going for an up or a down arrow at that point. If you've got less up arrows, go for more down arrows. If you've got less down arrows, get rid of those to try and bring in more up arrows. And this comes to point 4, and that is an unpopular opinion I have, that mismatch is the most useful gear. So if you're going to use any of these power-ups, these gears, you'll want to be using the mismatch. Why? Because the blue and yellow arrow gear only gives you a 25% boost, whereas this potentially could save you not only time, but also give you the opportunity of getting new cards into the deck to give you a better shot. On top of that, you get more points from a mismatch 4 than you would get from one singular card, even with the blue or yellow arrow gear. This comes definitely in handy in final matches where you might have, let's say, 4 of a different type of arrow and you've been stuck with, I don't know, a down arrow and you got 4 up arrows, like you just saw. The match 4 or the 4 of a kind is too uncommon to risk using it unless you're using it literally every single match. So mismatch allows you to discard cards in favour of getting literally a refill of brand new cards. It's almost like a deck clearance, so you can just get rid of everything, like I'm about to do now. So I am going to get rid of every single one of these cards to get myself a bonus. If I was just to put in the toughness card, I would actually get myself a 10,000, maybe 9,000 point bonus. Whereas with this, I'm going to get myself something between 18 to 20k, which is much, much more points than I've got here. So now we're going to go for a speed, and you can see immediately we've got ourselves another situation just like this. So I am going to chuck away. In fact, I'm going to go for exactly the same again. I'm going to go for another mismatch, and instead of having a lower score, I've now got 38,000. Now, we got here a charisma match. This is perfect for what I wanted to show you all, because without having a single matched card, I got 58,000, which is more than the average. So if you want to be using any gear, you want to be purchasing any gear, want to be using the mismatched gear. And I just got 58 points, even though I played the game the complete wrong way. Talking about gears brings us on to point number 5, and that is only use gears if you are going for the top 3. Besides the mismatch, which you could probably get away with. Let's use the mismatch again, and we're going to use the proc one, even though it is literally useless. And it's alright to use these if honestly you're just going to get a couple of points from them. If they're free, they come off the board like all these have. I've not spent a single credit on any of the ones I've got here now. I stopped using them basically on day 2 in the morning when I got my top 3 reward. And that's the only reason you need to use them, is if you're going for a very high ranking. Because in those situations, you might get something good from it. Let's play this next game now. 3 of a kind, perfect. And we're going to keep the down and the left arrow in there, just in case we get a bit lucky. 44,000. Very, very nice. Got a... See, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the speed card and the left arrow power. I'm going to get rid of that speed card. Get rid of that speed card. Get in that power. Hopefully it's an up arrow. Yes, it is. Come on. I didn't want an up arrow. God, I got it wrong. I wanted the charisma cards. But hey, it doesn't matter. We're still going to get more. And this is what I mean about using the mismatch to your benefit. If I used the up arrow then, I would have got 12,000 at best, and I just got 19,000. Boom, done. Extra points. Thank you very much. Unless the gears become more powerful in future Giants Unleashed events, literally, you can just stick by this and you'll get points all the time, no problem. Now to the big one. This is the reason I made this video, because all the additional bonuses, benefits, you could probably work out for yourself in a couple of events. This one's a biggie, and there are not many people, I'd say a handful at best, who know how to use this top secret, and I mean top secret bonus. It's not in any guides, it's not in the game's guides itself, and that is using the Giants Superstar against the Giants. So we got Kevin Owens right now. I don't have a Kevin Owens Pro in Cataclysm tier, but let's just say I had. If I used that Kevin Owens, you'd probably think to yourself, it's just another down arrow, works as normal. No. And this is where the awesomeness of little secrets come out during gameplay, which you knew nothing about beforehand. A couple of Giants into day 1, there was a Cataclysm Braun Strowman. This is how I found this out, and I've got it on screen for you now. And just wrote some notes about this, so bear with me. But it's a secret way of obtaining points that isn't in any guide or tutorial, so listen close. During the Braun Strowman Cataclysm, whenever I used the Cataclysm Strowman, it would basically count as a match, even though the arrow was different. So effectively, the Strowman follows the Strowman in whatever arrow it selects, which is huge because that's an immediate match. Which means if you got any other superstars that the arrow matches the Giant's arrow, you've immediately got yourself a double match. Instead of having to use things like the mismatch, you don't have to use that anymore. You don't have to use any gears. You've got an immediate bonus. Now, one thing I will say is I have seen a screenshot floating about where someone actually used a different tiers card and still got the bonus. But let's just say you're facing a shattered Kevin Owens and you got a WrestleMania 35 Kevin Owens. Use the WrestleMania 35 Kevin Owens and let me know in the comments if that works, because I can't verify that. If you then combine that with any other card that is the same arrow, it gives you a massive boost. Not only would you get a pair, you get a 3 of kind or 4 of a kind, or as I got on my first stream of the event, a 5 of a kind, which meant I got all 4 right arrows and an extra Braun Strowman, which counted as an up arrow because that was what the Giant started with. I had 5 right arrows, which is balmy. Now here's where you make it work for yourself a bit more. So if the card you've got doesn't actually make your deck, add enhancements, add a momentum slot. Maybe you've got event cards or special cards. Maybe you've got fusions as such. Add the enhancements, add a momentum slot, get them in your deck because it's instantaneous points. But what happens if you get more than 1 pro? So if you're lucky enough, like I am, and you got yourself, let's say, 2 Ricochet pros, if a Ricochet shows up, you can use as many of those pros as you want to, which means you've instantaneously got, if those cards show up, you've instantaneously got a match regardless of the Giant's arrows. And that potentially is a a guaranteed 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, double match up every single time we jump into a game of Giants Unleashed. Now this is interesting. I'm going to go for the left arrows, and I expended, there we go, sweet, I expended the down arrow, and it's a down arrow again. Of course it is. So we're going to use the mismatch. There we go. Even though we didn't have a down arrow. We had 1 down arrow. That's just bad luck. Now, if you've used that little trick I just showed you, please let me know in the comments. Some people have tweeted at me and said, I don't know why I'm getting a boost from using the Miz and no one seems to have an answer. Well, I just gave you one. This is probably the coolest little thing I found so far, and who knows what else we could find as a little bonus. Maybe they could add tag teams into it. Maybe if you had a member of the New Day, maybe the New Day would end up being like a taggable option. Maybe, for example, Sami Zayn would go with Kevin Owens. I don't know. Maybe that's something they could do. It would make the game mode very interesting. Okay, so this last one, I'm going to bank on potentially getting another couple of charismas and it being a charisma arrow. It is a charisma arrow. Oh, 4 of a kind, baby. 4 of a kind. To got yourself a 325%. So this is a great way to end this video. And that is the last point. Use all 4 cards on your final round, even if the arrows don't match. Why is that important? Because you're never going to use those cards again because the match is about to end. So first of all, pick the cards that match the arrows on the Giant. Then use any other superstar. Just literally use anything until you've got all 4 cards. You can choose the maximum amount of cards you can choose and just throw them in. It's 4,000 to 7,000, maybe even higher, of expendable cards and points, which over the course of, let's say, 40 or 50 games gets you massive points you wouldn't have had anyway. But there's my little guide and that top secret additional bonus, which could change this game mode pretty much forever. Especially if you got people like Ricochet, Shawn Michaels, Finn Balor with the Fusions events. This could be big time. And it massively incentivizes people to get double pros, triple pros of the same card. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and any little tips and tricks you got yourself. Make sure you list it right down here. I've been SuperZombGBBQ. You have been awesome. Be good to yourselves. And a little extra I'm going to start adding to the videos is just a few things about mental health. Subject that pretty much all of us know far too well. And first of all, I'm going to start with this. If you're ever feeling low, lonely, talk to someone. Even if it's someone you haven't spoken to for months, years, decades. Reach out to someone. Tell them you love them. Give them a hug. Reach out to someone. He might not be having a good day or a good week. Maybe you could even make their year. And that's how I'm going to end it. Like this video if you like what you saw. Subscribe to the channel whilst you're there. Be awesome and ring the notification bell. And I'll see you soon. One last thing, and that is to...